What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. We got a fun one for you tonight. We're hanging out with Harris. Harris, how are we doing this evening?
Great.
We're doing great because we're doing Harris's league tonight. We're doing a 10-team Yahoo draft. This is a real draft, not a mock draft. I'm picking in spot 8. Harris is in spot 7. We also have Jason with us in pick 5, and it looks like Chase is in pick number 4. This is a 10-team standard league. So hopefully this will be of some use to you guys, and we're just going to have fun with it. This draft's about to start in about 5 seconds here. Harris, this is, like you said, you're like your 3rd or 4th year doing this league, or where are we at?
This is my league. I commissioned this league.
Okay. And have you won this league yet?
Every single year.
Every single year you've won?
Every single year my dad has won it.
Okay, got it. All right, well, not this year. Not this year. One of the fellowship guys is going to get it this year. But Justin Jefferson goes pick 1. I think part of me, so I don't know how to do this because it's a real draft. Like, I don't know if I want to pull up my rankings and stuff. So I kind of have a second tab open here. I'm just rifling through my personal rankings. But I do think running back is the way to go, I think, in a standard league. And shout out to Justin in the chat room. We got Chase in the chat room with us too. Did Kelsey just go second? Oh my goodness.
Yes.
We are off the rails already. Pick number 2.
Lamar Chase is falling.
Travis Kelsey. And I'm just looking around here to see who my potential best available pick will be. I know who Harris wants, so that definitely helps me out. But we'll have fun with this one and see what we can kind of cook up. So far, Travis Kelsey at 2, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson. Nice pull there by Chase.
Jesus, I'm going to get someone good.
So this is good. This is real good so far. I'm probably going to get the guy that I'm looking for. So I'm going to wait till I'm on the clock to go to the player tab. I'm going to leave this up for the most part. But we're having fun here so far. Wanted Chase, but got to go Bijan. And what's fun too is, like, if you do a bunch of leagues, man, you got to diversify. Go get some players that you haven't drafted before, and especially in a. I personally really enjoy standard league because it makes you think a little bit differently. You're thinking about touchdowns. Like Nick Chubb is a 6th overall pick here in a standard league. It's a little bit different. It's kind of like a fun wrinkle, like a super flex league is. So Harris is on the clock. You want to take us through your pick, man?
Yeah, my pick, Jamar Chase fell to me. I like that, but would you do Jamar Chase or Tyreek Hill? They're right next to each other in my rankings.
My rankings have Jamar Chase in a standard league, and it's by 2 points. So it's about 5 points. It's truly a preference call.
Yeah, they're saying it's about 30 points here, but I'm going to go with the guy who fell to me. I'm going to draft Jamar Chase.
All right. So we're in. We got 2 receivers off the board, 4 running backs, Travis Kelsey. I'm on the board here. They're telling me Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb are the top available guys. But if you guys watch my stuff, you guys know what I usually like to do. And we're going to go ahead and grab Antonio Pollard. I want to lock in that stud running back 1. One of my favorite picks this year in the draft. They really don't have a solid running back 2 behind Tony Pollard, so I think they're going to give him a ton of catches, a ton of running touchdowns this year. I think Dallas is going to be giving Tony the ball a ton. So I'm just going off volume here. Tony Pollard was my 4th player in my projections for standard league format. So we get a good value there. We'll see if some running backs come back around here. Do you know who Throw Me a Freaking Bone is here?
Hey, that's my brother.
Your brother. Okay. You guys all drafting together? You guys in the same room?
Oh, we're not. No.
Okay. All right. And then we'll see what your dad does here. The wall.
It's Stephon Diggs over Tyreek Hill and Cooper Kupp. That's surprising.
Yeah. It's a Bills take. I think I don't hate it. I do have Stephon Diggs ranked fairly high. I think 9's probably a bit rich, but I think running backs are pretty king. Chase says Deuce the RB2. I think they're going to let Deuce kind of work his way into the offense. I don't think Deuce is going to be a guy week 1 that they're giving a lot of touches, but I expect him to play on special teams and contribute week 1. But I think Rico Dowdle's the 2, and then we'll see Deuce kind of slowly get we'll see Deuce slowly get interested in getting more touches as the season goes on. But on the turn here, Saquon Barkley to your dad. I'm not sure who else is going to take here. I did have Saquon Barkley ranked as my 9th best player in this scoring format, so he does get a nice value there. Tyreek Hill's probably got to go off the board soon, man, huh?
You'll probably take him.
If it's Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, CD, I'm not taking CD Lamb. I mean, I know who I'll take if it's there. I do have Tyreek Hill ranked as my 11th best player right now, so he would be the pick that I think makes sense here. There is one guy that's available that I have higher than Tyreek Hill, though.
Is it AJ Brown?
No, it's not a receiver.
It's
It is a running back.
Is it Josh Jacobs?
It would be Josh Jacobs. I think Josh Jacobs in a standard league makes a ton of sense. I still expect him to be, used as a receiver this season, but I think the Raiders, man, like they got him on basically a 1-year deal. They're gonna run him into the ground. Like they're gonna give him 20 carries a game. I know they like Zamir White and stuff, but they have every incentive. If they don't want to pay Josh Jacobs next year, they're gonna give him a ton of carries this year and say, we'll talk about money next year. So Jacobs intrigues me here. We'll see what this guy does here with the 2.2. And there we go, Josh Jacobs. So I get sniped on him a little bit. If you get Tyreek Hill, I mean, Tyreek Hill's there, man. He's there, but I only get one chance at this guy because he's not coming back to me. And I don't think I'm going to be able to draft this guy in my big important league this year. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to go AJ Brown, and we're going to give Tyreek Hill.
I'm going to start double receiver in this league.
All right, so we did it, man. AJ Brown, Tony Pollard for me, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, and then we got Odell Beckham. What the hell is going on here? Odell Beckham at 2.5. We're having fun. We're officially off the rails for reals now.
Yeah, that team Chubba Dub Dub and then Pound Cake don't really draft well.
Okay, got it.
Like last year, Pound Cake took as their number 1 overall pick. I think it was Josh Allen.
Yep. Randy, so unfortunately, this is my last video before the weekend. I'm out of town tomorrow for the weekend. I'll be back on Monday, I think. But if you're doing a 12-team PPR mock draft, we'll talk it over in the Discord. We'll kind of make a plan for you, and maybe I can do a side mock or something and get something done. But I'm not going to be able to make a video. This will be the last video before Labor Day weekend for me. So we'll get you something brewing in the Discord though. But man, oh man, Odell Beckham, is this I don't know how to defend it. It's a bad pick, obviously, but we'll see if he can recover it.
I mean, is it worse than who is it? Forgot his quote. I forgot. Is it worse than Kirk Cousins in the 4th round?
I mean, Kirk Cousins is going to score points. Like he's going to be a potential, QB1. So I think so. I think Cousins is a better pick in the 4th, whereas Odell, man, like he's not even startable in most leagues. So we'll see about that. Yeah, we don't know. So Randy drafts Randy. Okay. So we got plenty of time, Randy. We'll get you dialed in. So I personally
Joe Mixon was my next pick.
I think that's too early for Joe Mixon. Let me see where I had him on my rankings.
I have Joe Mixon at 10 at going in the top 10 players. So I think that's a fine pick right there.
I had him as a 3rd round value, so I think this is probably where he would have looked good to me. I think there's a couple other running backs that I would take over him, but for where he's being drafted, that's probably where you had to do it because it looks like we're going to go on a little wide receiver run. So we're drafting with Harris here. Harris is the guy on the video screen, and he's doing Lexus 350. He's got Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill. Chase is in the draft with us, and he's drafting here. Chase is genius something. He's got Bijan and Garrett Wilson as his first 2 picks. And then I believe Jason's in here. He's Jason's Groovy Something, Austin Eckler, and Cooper Kupp. So we're all here. Yeah, this team looks pretty fun too. JJ, CeeDee Lamb, and Amon-Ra is an interesting start in a standard league, to say the least. But we'll see. We got Chase and Jason coming up here. I do want to take a peek at the board and just see what's going on here. Top players available include Waddle, Devonta, Olave, Jalen Hurts, Travis Etienne, Jalen Hurts, Najee. So a lot of wide receivers are probably going to come off the board rather quickly here. So we'll evaluate as we go along. But so far, so good. I'm pretty happy with my balance start. I wanted one of the stud running backs, Tony Pollard. I did get A.J. Brown. I take A.J. Brown as the fourth receiver off the board, but at this point, we're just having fun with it. So better than Odell Beckham pick, that's for sure. And I do believe, Harris, this league is 6-point passing touchdowns, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Pound Cake gets his Travis Kelce, Pat Mahomes stack. So he's getting huge positional value at the tight end position because he should have the number one tight end. And then he's also probably banking on Pat Mahomes throwing 40 touchdowns and being the number one quarterback. So Pound Cake potentially has locked down the number one QB and the number one tight end. So that's interesting. We'll watch for him and see what he can kind of rope together for the rest of his team. But Chase is on the clock. We'll see what he can brew up here. Yeah, and I don't know how to play this because it's a 10 team. I think running back should be coming off the board here. Chris Olave is a great pick. I think we all like Chris Olave a lot in this group. And we'll see what Chubba Dub does with his Odell to back up Odell Beckham here. Jason's on the clock right now. And yeah, Chase, I like Chase's squad. He's got the Bijan anchor, and he's got two exciting second-year wide receivers. Both guys probably entering breakout seasons right now. So that's a fun spot. Again, top players available right now. I'm 3 picks away. Harris is 2 picks away. But top players right now, Devonta Smith, Travis Etienne, Jalen Hurts, Najee Harris, T. Higgins, Aaron Jones, Calvin Ridley, Ramondre. So it's looking pretty fun so far. And I don't know about you, Harris, but like what – when we do a full PPR league, obviously we're looking for receptions and things like that. But what does your mind shift to when you prepare for a standard league?
I just try to take players that are going to get a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns. Like, for example, like Amon-Ra St. Brown is not a guy who I'm actively targeting. Like if he goes below, like if he's below his ADP, then I would consider. Yeah. But I take the guys who are going to get the yards and get the touchdowns rather than I'm going to get 10 receptions, but maybe only like 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, so I mean, you know me, I love my Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I have him as my 33rd ranked player in standard projection. So
okay, we have a Brock Purdy sighting.
All right, man, we're off. We've been off the rails. We're on a different track right now. So we're just wheeling and dealing here, man. You gotta try something different. And Aaron Jones goes here. Harris, can you predict my pick for me? What am I doing here?
You're probably gonna draft Josh Allen.
Are you kidding me? I got A.J. Brown on the squad, dude. We're going to have some fun with this one. We're going Jalen Hurts, baby. A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts stacked, and we got a little Tony Pollard spice on the side. That was best case scenario, and that's kind of why I took A.J. Brown, because I thought maybe Jalen Hurts would come back. And I will say, in a standard league where 6-point passing touchdowns are a thing, I think there's tremendous value in getting a top 5 quarterback. And I know Jalen Hurts is going to run for a lot of touchdowns, but I think he's also going to throw 25 to 30 touchdowns in this league. So I like Jalen Hurts quite a bit. Obviously, Josh Allen probably, if I filter my numbers real quick, I still have, Josh Allen would be my number 1 QB in a 6-point passing touchdown league. But because I have Jalen Hurts there, I think it makes sense. Or because I have A.J. Brown. So we're having fun with that. DK Metcalf, I was hoping for him to come back on the turn for me.
We have some players that are falling here. We have a falling Devonta and T. Higgins.
Well, I think both guys are solid wide receiver 2s in a standard league. I just want to see if I have anybody ahead of them that I need to make sure I'm going to get. Let's see here. I got a lot of running backs that I like. I don't know if I need to pull one yet. I might pull a running back here, but Jalen Waddle did go. I would say, well, I'm curious what your dad does, but for me, the top receiver is still available. Receivers got the receivers got eaten up pretty quickly here. I don't think there's much value at the receivers position right now. I have Devonta Smith ranked as my 44th best player. I'm interested in Calvin Ridley. I am pretty low on T. Higgins. He's my 50th ranked player, but between Devonta, Higgins, and Calvin Ridley, those guys are all 5th round values to me. So I feel like I'm reaching on that, but not sure what I want to do here because what did we just get?
Calvin Ridley just went.
Calvin Ridley. Okay, I'm probably going running back here. Calvin Ridley, T. Higgins, Najee Harris. Now I could take Devonta Smith and just collect the biggest, nastiest stack. Chat room, do I do it? Do I do the mega Philly stack? AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith. My board's telling me no. And I do believe, Harris, we can start. Yeah, we do get a flex. So we can start 3 running backs or we could start 3 wide receivers. Okay. So we already know. I'm going my boy Dameon Pierce, guys. In a standard league, I'm collecting touches and I just want to lock in my 1,200 yard back. I did consider J.K. Dobbins there, but Chase says he called it. Harris, take us through your pick here at 4-4.
So we have a falling Josh Allen right now.
Yep, you won.
My quarterback, I could take a big, huge quarterback, and this would be cool. I personally am not going to draft running back here, even though I need one. We do have a falling Mark Andrews also.
Yep.
I'm going to take the risk, and I'm actually going to take the risk, and I'm going to go with Mark Andrews here.
All right, I'm curious why you think it's a risk.
Well, so whether it was falling was the risk versus what's his name, Josh Allen, because I probably should have drafted Josh Allen, and he's more of a risk than Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen should probably be off the board right now, especially in a 6-point passing touchdown league. But because Mark Andrews is kind of like one of those unicorn tight end positions, you're securing a win at that tight end spot. So whether it's tight end or quarterback, it really doesn't matter. It would have been one thing if you had Stephon Diggs on your team. It would have made maybe more sense. We get a George Kittle sighting stacked with Brock Purdy, so we're having fun. We got Carmen in the chat with us tonight.
And there was an early Justin Herbert
paired with Austin Eckler. So Jason is he's dialed in there to the Chargers, looking fun. Yeah, we've had some weird stuff going on. This is a standard league 10-team draft here on Yahoo, and it's 6-point passing touchdown league. So to me, I think we're probably going to get a Joe Burrow sighting at some point pretty soon here on this turn, whether it's Kent Hackett or Lazaro. But so far, so good. We're having fun. Thanks for joining us tonight, Carmen. I'll recap the teams real quick. In the 4 spot, Chase, who's drafting with us, he's got Bijan, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. He gets a falling Josh Allen in his lap. Jason, who's drafting with us, he gets Austin Eckler, Cooper Kupp, Travis Etienne, and Justin Herbert. And then Harris, who's with us in the video tonight, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, double wide receiver start, and then Aaron Jones, Mark Andrews through 4 for him. And yeah, holy moly, I like Chase's start so far. That's pretty fun. We'll see if he can kind of continue to land some decent values. And then I went with Tony Pollard in my 1st round pick. I came back with AJB, stacked him with Jalen Hurts, and then I jumped on Dameon Pierce, who I am very, very bullish on Dameon Pierce. I get him as the RB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I get him as the RB 13 off the board, which I'm happy with. Harris, I've got Dameon Pierce as my 14th ranked player in a standard format. So
I don't disagree with that.
Well, and I know it's not like I wouldn't take Dameon Pierce 14th overall. My projections are made so that like I can see the values here and I know when to pounce on them, but I actually have Dameon Pierce ahead of Joe Mixon in my standard league settings, which is pretty crazy. So I think I got a steal here in standard formats. If you guys do play in standard, I like Dameon Pierce a lot. And then J.K. Dobbins was my other. Like I almost took J.K. Dobbins instead of Dameon Pierce here. I was hoping.
Yeah, JK was probably going to be my next pick.
JK in any format I actually am coming around to. There was a quote that I saw today, and there was a little video of J.K. Dobbins talking, and then you stack them with Lamar, which is pretty sick.
And then I went DJ Moore my next pick.
So, yeah, DJ Moore 5.2.
But that's fine. I got 2 good guys.
And we're moving on to Chase and Jason here shortly. As we're approaching all of our picks in round 5, we have a falling Devonta Smith, Amari Cooper, Breece Hall, Miles Sanders, Deebo Samuel, Tyler Lockett, Kenny Walker, Alexander Madison, JT. We'll see where JT falls in this one. Get you guys some information on that. And then big old Keenan Allen here. So we're getting to that point where there's a lot of question marks on these guys here. And it's basically, you can make an argument for any of these players, I think, at this point of the draft, especially in a standard league. But we're looking for touchdowns here. We're looking for yards. I think that is what is most important. But Chase is on the clock. We'll see what he does here. He collects the value. He just keeps collecting value. Devonta Smith, we're giving him an all-star squad here. So he gets Devonta Smith in his flex. Jason pulls Deebo Samuel. I'm sure that was on Harris's list. But Harris, you want to talk us through your next pick here?
Yes, I'm gonna do. My original pick here was gonna be DJ Moore. Was gonna be Lamar Jackson or DJ Moore. Okay, Brendan Ayuk, just what the hell?
He's got a fat 49er stack, man.
Well, the person drafting next to me drafting weird. I'm not gonna draft running back again. I'm gonna draft. I'm gonna do the stack. I'm gonna do the stack.
All right, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, man, you got a nice value. Like you kind of were kicking yourself, I think, for not taking Josh Allen, but you do get rewarded for getting Joe Burrow, which is great value. Harris in chat room, can you guys guess who my next pick is? We'll give you guys some time here. We'll look at the board together. Top players are Breece, Sanders, Lockett, Kenny Walker.
It's Lockett. You need a wide receiver too.
Dude, it's none of the players on the list.
Wait,
No, it's none of the players that we're looking at right now. We are going to get all right, guys, we're getting the best value pick in the entire draft.
Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me.
You guys are drafting this weekend. Please, 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 please go and draft this man, David Montgomery, Detroit Lions, in my flex, in a standard league, double-digit touchdown upside, over 1,000 yards rushing. If anything happens to Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery might be the running back one. Like, it's insane. I'm actually super excited to take him here at 5.8. And guys, if I tell you where he is in my projections, you guys might laugh at me. He was my 12th highest player in the entire draft.
That is insane.
So David Montgomery, guys, he is. You think about the Lions' offense, Harris, man. Like, who are they going to give the ball to?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Who else?
Jahmyr Gibbs.
And
David Montgomery.
And then who's after that?
Sam Laporta.
A rookie tight end. Like they're gonna give St. Brown, Montgomery, and Gibbs as much as they can handle, and I think David Montgomery can handle a lot. So that's my favorite pick so far that I was able to collect. I got 3 really fun running backs, and now we're gonna piece it together at wide receiver 2. I got the stud QB that I was looking for. There are some tight ends on the board coming up, but
which I will not be drafting.
We'll get to that. Cam Akers goes off the board here. I do want to look around and see who's best available. For me, I do need wide receiver. Like I wouldn't mind grabbing Keenan Allen here. He's a good player and a good team. Tyler Lockett. A lot of these guys do start to stick out. If I filter by receiver and hit fantasy points, though, there is a guy here that should not be on the board still because I think he's going to go over 1,200 yards and catch a bunch of touchdowns. But if I wanted to be mean and take another running back, I could just take Breece Hall and put him on my bench for the playoffs.
You screwed with me. My next pick was going to be David Montgomery.
Tell me why I shouldn't take Breece Hall next.
Well, there's no reason why you shouldn't take him next.
I've built a team here that doesn't need Breece Hall.
You don't need Breece. You need the only thing you need over him is a wide receiver 2.
But at that point, like, I'm fine starting almost anybody at wide receiver 2, hoping for 60 to 70 yards and a good chance at a touchdown. My head says I should take Mike Williams or Keenan Allen and get one of the Chargers pieces because I feel good starting those guys every week. But otherwise, I mean, I could really. I mean, if I were to take Breece Hall here and just tuck him away for a cold December Week 15 playoff game where he's the RB1, like that could be a league-winning pick. And I tend to not always draft players just because I need a starting wide receiver 2. I think I can piece together a wide receiver 2 with a couple guys late yet. And there's a lot of guys that I like at wide receiver 2. So for me, the best player on my board is probably Breece Hall. I have him as my 32nd ranked player, so he should have been taken already. I do have Kenneth Walker ahead of him, but I don't think Kenneth Walker is necessarily a league-winning pick, but he could be. He really could be. But man, to tuck Breece Hall away sounds kind of fun. Yeah, and I'm sure you guys have heard me say it, but they have their bye week 7. After the bye week 7, it could be wheels up for Breece Hall. So he's the top player, I think, in the projections when I filter by flex, as running backs should be. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Breece Hall, and guess what? I probably don't need to draft another running back the rest of the way.
Okay, so for my next pick, I'm going to take the guy who I feel like is the safest here. I'm going to draft Alexander Madison.
Okay.
At running back 2.
Can't complain with the volume. I know Madison's not like my favorite player. I don't think he's like an elite talent, but I think you'll be happy to, like, when I tell you Madison was my 16th ranked player on this entire standard projections, like, it was a good pick. And we are officially just on a different planet now over here in Chubba Dubville.
Yeah.
We are on a different planet over here.
Like, we started on the same planet and then left.
We left real quick. We left real quick here. So Jason Sanders, round 6, the kicker you need on your fantasy teams this season. Jason collects good value in Darren Waller. I like the Kenneth Walker pull here as well. This is interesting. I usually don't draft teams like this. This is kind of fun though. I'm enjoying the keeper or the standard league format quite a bit right now. Players that are available right now, Harris. Projection-wise, they do have James Conner ranked really highly. I don't think we're drafting him, though. We're not in on Conner, right?
Yeah, we're not in. The first. Honestly, if I don't have the first 3 on that list, I would be fine.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't want James Cook in a standard league either. So that one's kind of weird. I like Isaiah Pacheco a lot in a standard league. Actually, I think that's good value. And Kenneth Walker, his best format is standard league, so he does stick out quite a bit. Keenan Allen is getting beat up right now.
There were Justin Fields.
Wow, Justin Fields went late after all of these guys too. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, man, I got ideas at wide receiver 2 that are going to be pretty fun. I'm hoping to snipe some people. At tight end, I think I'm going to run tight end till empty. I would love to get Dallas Goedert because it just fits my team build and my stack, but I don't need Dallas Goedert. If he comes back to me round 8, I'll probably consider it, but I'm not going to take him at 7.8. James Cook goes there. Is this Chubba Dub an AI bot? Chubba Dub is currently orbiting Mars right now, Jesse. And he started the party off cool with Nick Chubb. Like, everybody's like, Chubba Dub, like, yeah, this is great. And then it got weird real quick. Odell Beckham round 2, We got a Brock Purdy sighting. The George Kittle one is fine. That makes sense. Brandon Ayuk was good. But then Jason Sanders, the official kicker you need in all of your leagues this year.
More than Justin Tucker.
Yeah, so we'll see if he can recover from here. We'll see if he can pull it off.
There's still ways you can pull it off.
Well, I go back every year and I look at my draft boards, and it's like half these dudes aren't on my team by week 10. You know, it's kind of crazy. So it's at any point, like, we could criticize picks, but like if they're still on your roster at the end of the year, it was a good pick, essentially. And yeah, he's stacking his 49ers. And
I bet his next pick's going to be the 49ers defense.
Like, if he got Christian McCaffrey, this would be sick. But the 49ers, we identified as a team that's got the 5th easiest schedule. So clearly you don't want to take Brock Purdy this high in your real drafts, guys. Like, we're not trying to puff this one up here, but it's interesting. This one's for science, as I say. We'll study this one someday, and we'll look back at it and see if it worked out, man. It's big in a 10-team league. Jesse, let me recap you my team here. I ended up with Tony Pollard at the 108. We got our boy A.J. Brown, 2.3. Stacked them up with Jalen Hurts, 3.8. And then I just gobbled running backs here. Dameon Pierce, David Montgomery, and Breece Hall. Standard league running back. I might be done drafting running backs at this point, and we're just going to piece together wide receiver too. But we're having fun here. I don't get often chances to draft Breece Hall with a running back room loaded as I have here. So I think it was the right time to do it. We're going to tuck Breece Hall away for the winter months. But we're moving and grooving here. TJ Hawkinson off the board at 7.1. We got Chris Godwin, James Conner. We identified Conner as a guy that we're not drafting this year. We'll see what Chase drafts here at the 4th pick of the 7th round, and then we have Jason's pick coming in hot. Let's look at the best players available. We haven't seen a Jonathan Taylor sighting yet. Keenan Allen's falling pretty hard. Dallas Goedert, Kyle Pitts are the next best tight ends coming up. Got some receivers that nobody really likes to click in Terry McLaurin, DeAndre Hopkins. Drake London's interesting. I know Harris is looking at Dalvin Cook, and Dalvin Cook's looking at Harris right now. Pacheco's a player that I like. So I'm not sure what we'll do with my pick here, but we got a few picks to wait it out. And let's see. Yeah, we're gonna put Breece in bubble wrap and send him away, and we'll look at Breece Hall when it comes a little bit colder. When the weather starts getting cold and we get some snow on the ground, we're gonna be happy we got Breece Hall in the squad. But good pick there by Chase. I like Pacheco. Jason steals my guy again. Big Mike Williams would have looked great as my wide receiver too, but Keenan Allen's still on the board, guys. Keenan Allen is an elite wide receiver still. Standard league receivers, baby.
Let's see what.
Buffalo.
Okay. Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm gonna screw with you here. I'm taking the biggest faller right now. I'm gonna take Keenan Allen.
Well, I was actually puffing Keenan Allen up because I didn't want Keenan Allen. So I get my choice here, boys. I don't need a running back, but I like to look at the clearance rack, time to time. The running backs are beat up pretty bad, so I'm glad I did what I did. Receivers, I don't really want to pounce on any of these guys here, really. You know what? Christian Watson is a player that I really like that could be a lot of fun. I'm pretty excited about Watson, what Watson can do. I'm going to collect him as one of my wide receivers, make him my wide receiver too. He's a boomer bust guy, but I think his floor is 40 to 50 yards per game here. And if he scores a touchdown, this team's going to be humming. So I'll grab Christian Watson, then I'm probably going to grab another receiver on the comeback here. I just think year 2 wide receivers is kind of where you want to be this year. There's so many good ones. Imagine picking Taylor and he comes back mid-late season. I could take Jonathan Taylor, but the vibes are so bad, dude. Like, ultimately, I don't think Jonathan Taylor plays for the Colts again. I think he's on the move somewhere. And even though he's on the PUP list, he could still be traded. So either way, we're moving into the back end of the 7th round. We'll see what these guys collect here. Team number 9 does not have a QB yet, so he's the only guy without a QB yet. Okay, so at this point, he could wait. He could wait and have some fun waiting for QBs. Otherwise, he does need a tight end as well. So we'll see what he can come up with. I do want to look at my projections and see if I made a good pick with Christian Watson. Watson was my 42nd ranked player in standard formats. I had Christian Watson higher than Devonta Smith, Calvin Ridley, and Mike Williams, and Keenan Allen. So I ended up getting my highest receiver left on the board there with Christian Watson. And Watson, I know a lot of people don't like Christian Watson, but he's worth a home run pull. I think Watson could be a home run play any week. He only needs one play to make your lineup here, and I think people are beginning to understand that Jordan Love might actually be decent. He looked solid in preseason, so I know it's preseason, but he did hold down the fort for 3 games and threw a touchdown in every game. We'll see what Harris's dad does here. He's got Trevor Lawrence, Tyler Lockett, T. Higgins, Calvin Ridley, and 2 stud running backs in Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry. His roster is well built. Goddard would have been. I would have thought long and hard about Dallas Goedert, but I think Jesse would agree with me in the chat room that tight ends just have no value. And if you don't get Kelsey or Mark Andrews, like I don't really want a tight end at that point. So we'll burn it to empty. Harris doesn't want to tell me what he's looking for next, does he?
I don't even really. They're Dalvin Cook. I'm probably looking at running back next, so I'm not. I have to look at that. Would you say your draft your plan, and then I'll ask my question.
Kyle Pitts, Christian Kirk go. I'm going to continue the train of year 2 breakout wide receivers. George Pickens.
I'm okay. Would you go Jonathan Taylor here?
No. You got Aaron Jones and Alexander Madison. I mean, if you're looking at running backs, let me reassess this here. You got running backs. So JT, Javonte. I'd rather have Javonte Williams, Harris, than Jonathan Taylor because I know Javonte's on his team and they like him and they want him, right? And he's healthier than we thought. So like with especially with JT and Kamara still on the board, you can maybe convince me that Jonathan Taylor's better than everybody under Kamara here. But I think the vibes are pretty damn good on Javonte, man. Like
you know, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna go this player and hope they do really well. Hope they do really well. Like I know I can hold them for the first 3 weeks of the season. I'm going with Alvin Kamara here.
All right,
I feel like it's better than Javonte's because I just don't want to risk someone coming back from injury versus where Alvin Kamara is going to probably be in right away and be just fine.
Yeah. And you have it built set up well where Jones and Madison are your starters and you can wait. I mean, it's kind of like the Breece Hall play, right? You can wait on Kamara. And Jesse was saying that he had Drake London in his mind. But the thing with London is I think George Pickens is going to score more touchdowns than Drake London. So that's why I did go Pickens. I also think the Falcons are going to probably throw a lot less than the Steelers. So I went with George, even though London's a great PPR pick. I think that's where I like him a little bit more. But with Pickens, man, like, would it surprise us if George Pickens caught 10 touchdowns this year? Interesting thought. I mean, I think he could get there. I want his targets to go up. I think if his targets go up, he could get there. But he did catch 6 or 7 touchdowns his rookie season. So he fits the profile that I'm looking for here. And, we'll just be rotating Christian Watson and George Pickens there. Alvin Kamara, man, was a great pick. There goes Jonathan Taylor. So if you guys are drafting this weekend, we had, 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 70 picks, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. Jonathan Taylor went 75th overall. And
God. Yeah. My next 2 picks were either going to be Khalil Herbert or Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, I was thinking Jahan Dotson had a chance of coming back to me because he would have been on my next radar, but that's okay. Jahan Dotson's an elite second-year receiver as well. He fits the mold that we're looking for. But anyone in the comments or Harris, we'll let the people guess in the comments. Who is the best tight end sleeper that you can pick in a standard league? There's one guy that I have in mind specifically that was just built for standard league formats. And I know Harris knows who I'm talking about now, but I'm curious if you guys can figure it out in the comments. Oh, Pickens only had 4. Okay. Yeah, Jahan Dotson, the 7 touch. Like I don't know if you guys agree, but I think I had this thought before the Terry McLaurin injury, but there's a small chance that Jahan Dotson might be a better receiver than Terry McLaurin. Like I really like Terry McLaurin, but there's a maybe Jahan Dotson's better. Maybe he's the alpha that's going to score all the touchdowns there and develop a rapport with Sam Howell. I'm not quite sure, but 7 touchdowns last year for Jahan Dotson makes a lot of sense. And you see Jahan Dotson now goes over Terry McLaurin, I think, in most drafts that I'm seeing. And then a falling Drake London here is a good pick. And Chase got it right. The tight end we are looking for is Taysom Hill. He was a top 10 tight end last year in standard league formats. Like, yeah, I don't want to start him every week. Like, he could get me 0 points, but I think they have a role for him. I think he's going to probably score a touchdown every other game in a standard league format. Taysom Hill's not a bad tight end 2 on your roster to play matchups with. We got some defense coming off the board here. Philly, there's your Javonte there's your Javonte Williams sighting, which I think at this point Javonte Williams is a good pick. I'd rather have Javonte Williams over Rachaad White, probably Khalil Herbert and Jonathan Taylor. And yeah, Ron's with us tonight. Good evening to you, my man. Hope you're doing well. I really like Juwan Johnson. And yeah, Chase he's in this weird freaking Bermuda Triangle where he's getting just tons of value. Bijan, Wilson, Olave. He got a falling Josh Allen, a falling Devonta Smith. He gobbled some really fun, exciting running backs here all year. 2 running backs, by the way. Kenneth Walker, Pacheco, a year 2 receiver, and Dotson and Brian Robinson. So good evening to Ron and everybody in the chat tonight. Harris, after Jason, he takes San Francisco's D, so he locks in a starting defense. Harris, why don't you take us through your thoughts on your next pick here in the 9th round?
Well, there's one player that's falling right now. I'm not going to mention them. And I was going to draft Deontay with my next pick. But let's look. Running back, I do need a running back. One of my early running backs that I liked a lot is still on the board in DeAndre Swift. Would you take him here?
You said DeAndre Swift?
Yeah, he's still on the board. Would you take him here? Or would you
over some of these other running backs? Let's see. I think A.J. Dillon probably presents a pretty good stash. I also like Jamal Williams because you do have Alvin Kamara. I think personally I'd lean into Jamal and just cover the Saints backfield. But we're getting to the point where DeAndre Swift is clickable, so I wouldn't oppose it if that's what you wanted to do. But I kind of like the wrinkle of Jamal and Kamara. But at this point, man, these guys are like this next brick of running backs is also similar. So if you have a gut feeling on DeAndre Swift, man, I think you should take it.
You know what? I'm going to take a big risk here and draft a rookie that I haven't drafted yet this season.
Jordan Addison. Interesting. Yeah, you have not clicked him once all summer. So that's pretty fun. I do not have a tight end yet. I got A.J. Brown, Christian Watson, and George Pickens as my receivers. My running backs are sexy with Tony Pollard, Dameon Pierce, David Montgomery, and Breece Hall. And we got a Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown stack brewing here. As I navigate the board here, Pat Daddy Freiermuth is the top player available. Quarterbacks are whatever. Wide receivers, Mike Evans is rumored to want to be taken pretty soon. I don't hate Mike Evans. I just hate Tampa Bay this year. I do not need a running back, but I totally wouldn't mind grabbing A.J. Dillon to stash for a cold winter at Lambeau in the playoffs. And Pat Freiermuth, man, is falling pretty hard. I do need a tight end. I do like Pat Freiermuth quite a bit, but I think my move is wide receiver. I think the move is to take the Buffalo Bills number 2 wide receiver who disappointed us all last year. But if he hits, I don't need him week 1, but if he hits, I can begin to use him. So I'll collect Gabe Davis, good offense. And yeah, we all like Jordan Addison. So Harris had a good pull there. And yeah, Gabe Davis was born for standard leagues. Because he can go, the dude can go 80 yards and a touchdown, no problem. Hopefully his route tree develops a little bit more this year. I don't know if that's in his arsenal, but he had the ankle thing week 1, and that really derailed him. You guys remember, I think week 1 or 2, he had like a 95-yard touchdown or something, right? So at this point, I'm trying to swing for home runs. Look at my builds: Watson, Pickens, and Gabe Davis. Like, we'll see what we can do. Yeah, Gabe was him, and that's just the way it rolls sometimes. So now I feel good about my wide receivers. I doubt. Well, Pat Frymouth's probably going to come back to me unless these guys take a tight end here. But do I take Uncle Jesse? Do I take Pat Daddy Frymouth here as my tight end one? I usually don't like to pull tight ends, but Pat probably should have been taken by now as we're entering the 10th round. So I don't hate that spot. The value of everything right now looks to me like running back still. Like AJ Dillon's a great pick. You got both Philly backs on the board here. Mike Evans in a standard league though is probably pretty nice. Yeah, I don't know if I want to lock into 2 Steelers pass catchers. That's the thing. We got an Aaron Rodgers sighting here. His QB1. Finally, all teams now have a quarterback.
I'm surprised in that Aaron Rodgers.
Is that a surprising pick for him?
Yes, he's good. My dad is helping him with his picks. So,
okay.
So for my dad, that is surprising. My dad rarely takes Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, okay.
But in my rankings, I would say that's a good pick.
Okay. I think in a 6-point passing touchdown league, I would prefer Rodgers a lot more than I prefer. Like in a 4-point passing touchdown league, it's kind of whatever. But these older, less mobile quarterbacks get a little bit of a boost in a 6-point passing touchdown league. So I do understand it. I think Rodgers can be a fringe top 10, top 12 QB. QB still on the board though. If I wanted to grab another QB, like there's some good ones out there. Like you got Dak, Deshaun, Tua, Kirk, Jared Goff. I mean, at this point, like the waiver wire is going to be really stocked on quarterback. So that's just kind of the way it goes. But we got some pick action moving here.
There's one.
We got a Zay Flowers sighting.
Okay. That one I can see because me and my dad both like that player a lot, and I stole it from him in the last draft.
Yeah, and the good news is you already got your rookie receiver in Jordan Addison, so it's good to diversify a little bit and make sure you're getting some different guys every now and then. And if you guys are doing 4 or 5 leagues, you guys shouldn't be making the same pick every draft. You guys should try to, especially when it comes to rookie wide receivers. I think Zay and Addison are the coveted top 2 wide receivers this year to be targeting. So, we are huge Zay Flowers people. DeAndre Swift and AJ Dillon both go. I would have considered AJ Dillon pretty strongly here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks left on this team. I have a tight end opening, a kicker, and a defense. I have 1, 2, 3 bench spots. So let's take a look around here. More wide receivers. Do I just collect big Mike Evans? I actually see a player I think I value more than Mike Evans at the wide receiver position. Running backs. I wouldn't mind pulling Charbonnet here, but again, my value at running back I think is pretty much used up. So I'm going to continue taking second-year wide receivers, man. I'm just going to collect Treylon Burks, who I think is a big play waiting to happen anytime he touches the ball. I'm taking him over Mike Evans because I'll let somebody else handle Tampa Bay. I don't know how Tampa Bay is going to go this year. I actually feel confident that Ryan Tannehill and the Titans, man, like they have a top 10 schedule this year. They're going to be competitive. You got Derek when the Titans go and aggressively get DeAndre Hopkins, like that's a move that says, hey, we can compete with Jacksonville to win the division and possibly make the playoffs. So I think the chances of Tannehill playing 16, 17 games this year are pretty good. So Treylon Burks, round 10, sign me up. Harris, what do you got here with your 10th round pick?
Okay, so my 10th round pick is going to be the first player I've clicked in this draft that I have on another team. I'm clicking on the Big Mike.
You got the Big Mike. So you finally got you got a big value in a falling Keenan Allen, and you got a huge value in Mike Evans. And I mean, at this point, Michael Evans is a huge, like that's a great pick. Like I probably should have taken him, but I'm just kind of leaning on the youth side of things. But either way, man, great pick for you, Mike Evans, as your wide receiver 5. Yeah, as your wide receiver 5. And we got our guys Jason and Chase in there. It looks like Ron agrees. I'm actually really excited about the DeAndre Hopkins, Treylon Burks duo because Treylon was lighting up this Titan summer camp. Like he was putting highlight videos out all the time. The freaking play that he got hurt on was a highlight play. He caught the ball and probably scored a touchdown on that play if he stayed up. But either way, I think Traylen's a talent that I want to bet on. And in the 10th round of a standard draft, like I'll put him on the bench, see what happens. And I do need wide receiver help, so I don't hate it. That's a good pick there. I like Jamal Williams, especially in a standard league where all he needs to do is fall into the end zone once. We'll see what Chase grabs here, but let's see. So we got me and Harris. We all got 5 picks left to make after this round 10 comes to a close. Defenses and kickers are probably going to go pretty soon, I would imagine. But otherwise, there's probably still some good values left on the board here. I see a lot of young players that I like. There's still some really good standard league running backs available too. Like I think Rashad Penny is best used in a standard league format. He could punch in 50, 60 yards and a touchdown every game in Philadelphia. I don't hate that at all. Tight end still on the board. You got Evan Ingram, David Njoku, Pat Freiermuth. Like these guys are falling pretty hard here. I'd love to collect one of those. I think, am I the last team with a tight end here? Looks like team 1, team 2. Can't Hackett needs one. And so does Chase. So Chase is probably going to gobble up a good tight end soon. But me and 2 other teams don't have tight end yet. So we'll figure it out. But Harris, man, how are we liking your draft so far?
All my drafts, I like all my drafts because they've been all very different versus last year. And they weren't Pat Freiermuth.
I think that's one of the most important lessons in fantasy that you have to learn at some point is if you have 4 or 5 leagues, like you got to start making different picks because every time you're up to pick, like that guy's probably, he might be the best pick of that round, but like, you know, you like DJ Moore a lot. You didn't get DJ Moore in this one. So it kind of forced you to think about another player that would be a really good pick in this range. And you collected Joe Burrow instead. So,
yeah, right.
You know, sometimes you just back into things and you let the universe kind of take care of it for you. There goes Pat Daddy Freiermuth. So Chase needs a tight end yet. I'm going to see if he gets Marquise Brown, I think at this point, he's just a wide receiver 1 on the worst team in football, but you got a wide receiver 1. So he's worth something. If a bad game for Marquise Brown is, 5 catches for 50 yards, so be it. We still don't know if Kyler Murray's going to play this year, but I think at this part of the draft, like he's your wide receiver 5. So I think that feels pretty good. Your positional value on Marquise Brown actually looks pretty decent. So I don't know. Harris, are you clicking Marquise Brown at all? Especially
this round 10, I would. Round 10, I would. ADP, I would not.
Okay. Yeah, I think I agree with that. That's probably perfect. Yeah. Wide receiver 1, 5th receiver. I think we all agree it's a good positional value. It's not a guy that we want to click, but sometimes the board presents the value. And Chase has just been getting like all the guys to fall into this little crevice of the 4th overall pick. And he's been having a pretty nice draft. I like Samaje Perine a lot this late. I think Perine can be your RB. If you wanted to wait, I think you could legit start Samaje Perine as your RB2 for the first week or 2 while Javonte gets his legs underneath him. Don't hate that pick at all. But now we're getting to that like Hail Mary sleeper range here, which could be a lot of fun. You want to be kind of looking towards younger players at this point of the draft. There are 3 defenses taken so far and 1 kicker. I also wouldn't mind thinking about defenses and kickers. And we'll see what Kent Hackett does before Chase and Jason's pick here. But yeah, I think most of our rosters are all built out pretty much right now. Now we're just in that point where we're just going to collect our favorite sleepers and see what happens.
It looks like Chubba Dubba is coming back to earth a little bit.
Yeah, he kind of was able to right the ship. You got Pittman, Deontay, Jonathan Taylor was probably a decent value pick here, but maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe Jason Sanders is gonna just like kick 6 field goals a game and just make it rain on all of us. Dallas defense goes. So yeah, we're in that point of the draft where there's pretty much no rules. Everyone's kind of filling out their bench, and yeah, I think the 4th pick, man, it's turned out pretty well for Chase there. Honestly, I like all of our drafts a lot. The board, like you guys have all been you really like. I don't think anyone's clicked on a player that I don't like. So we're doing pretty good here. And the thing too is like if we don't like that player, it's because we usually don't like him at ADP. Like Harris, I think you would agree. We don't like Mike Evans at ADP, but we like him in the 10th round.
No, I like Mike Evans at ADP.
Ah, okay. But yeah, I mean, 10th round, like he probably should have been an 8th round pick around like these guys here, DeAndre, Drake London. Probably should have been
there. I'd rather over probably Drake London, maybe DeAndre, and Terry.
I'm probably taking Mike Evans. I probably would rather have Evans over like Drake London and Terry. I think those guys are more PPR plays, whereas Evans was made for a standard league because he just needs to catch a touchdown. He's probably going to lead Tampa Bay in touchdown receptions this year. So I do like that pick quite a bit. But we'll see what Chase does. Jason's up. I'm going to start looking around at some of the top end players available. I waited. I'm one of the last players to take tight end. If I get David Njoku, I wouldn't hate that. Running backs, again, they're pretty beat up, but you can get some values, man. I mean, Rashad Penny this late is worth a dart throw. I think just collecting Zach Charbonnet is worth a shot. I don't know if you need to back up, Elijah Moore, Tyler Algier. Like these guys are all kind of handcuffy backups. Tank Bigsby's a fun stash. Antonio Gibson's not a bad player, but again, he's more PPR.
Okay, so my next pick was going to be Antonio Gibson. I lied about that thing earlier about Mike Evans being my only player on another team. I also have Mark Andrews on another team, but now I'm in a pickle. Do I go with the following Jackson Smith-Njigba here, or I only have 3 running backs right now?
Do we get an IR spot, Harris?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I'm going to take Kenneth Gainwell.
Good pick. I like that pick. You took Kenneth Gainwell over Rashad Penny. Interesting.
Yeah, I would rather have Kenneth Gainwell than Rashad Penny.
Yeah, you're not a big.
I don't. Yeah, Rashad Penny. I just don't want to deal with his health.
Well, I guess I'll take David Njoku. Fine. I have no problem with David Njoku round 11. That sounds fine. Njoku could be a really nice touchdown player. He did catch the touchdown in the preseason. It sure sounds like Deshaun Watson has a good connection with David Njoku. At this point, I was the last player to take a tight end in a 10-man league, and it just happened to be Njoku. So I think that worked out pretty well for me. If he can get 6-7 points a game, I'm probably happy with that, but we'll see.
Would you consider taking another one?
Not necessarily. It's a 10-team league, so I know because I don't like. Do I want to babysit a tight end on my roster, or should I? What's better to you? Should I babysit a young tight end that could overtake Njoku, or should I take flyers on rookie receivers and running backs?
You'd rather probably want we'd rather probably want a running back.
But I got a ton of I'm so set at running back, and I'm kind of looking for answers at receiver, but I probably want the home run swing because again, we kind of tight ends aren't that valuable. Like if Mark Andrews doesn't catch you a touchdown, Harris, how many points does Mark Andrews get?
If he gets a touchdown?
If he doesn't get a touchdown,
he could get probably 7 to 10.
So 7 to 10 points, 70 to 100 yards. Okay. So
and if he gets 10, that means he'll get if he gets 100 yards, that means he'll get 13 points.
You get 3 extra points for that?
Yes, for 100 yards, you get 3 extra points. Yes.
Is that the same bonus for receiving and rushing for running backs and receivers?
Yes, and then it's 350 for 3 extra points for quarterbacks.
Got it. Okay. So say Mark Andrews just got 77 yards. That's 7.7 points. Okay. Now at this point of the draft, what's like a running back stash who could become a starter? His bad game also looks pretty similar to that 7 to 8 to 10 points upside. So I don't know what I want to do. I think I value I'm going to be able to find a tight end off the waiver wire if Njoku doesn't work out. So I think it's more difficult to find good running backs and receivers on the waiver wire. So that's probably where I'm headed. Yeah, I think, and especially in a 10-team league. Like I got Njoku, but like honestly, like Juwan Johnson's all the way the hell down here.
Oh, they're just oh my god.
Charbonnet,
Jalen Warren just
Jalen
went.
Warren. Okay, that's
Zach
a good
Charbonnet
pick.
and Jalen Warren just went, which we're going to view in next.
Yeah, those
Which
are good stash plays. Definitely agree. I don't think there's any more running backs that I liked more than Jalen Warren. So he probably would have been on my list. But again, I think I built my team where I probably wasn't going running back here. I'm probably looking strictly at wide receiver here. I could take Sky Moore, but I don't think Sky Moore is what I'm looking for in a league like this. Rashad Bateman is one of those guys that could be absolutely balling, but since y'all are going to give me Jackson Smith and the Jigba for free, I will collect Jackson Smith and the Jigba for free.
Okay, my next pick was going to be Jackson Smith the Jigba because I can put him on an IR spot, but I need a running back, and I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go. I need a running back, but I could wait around. I'm gonna take the flyer on Sky Moore.
Yeah, Sky Moore is that's one of the players we're looking for. A guy that has potential big league winning upside. His upside is if he catches 6, 7, 8 touchdowns. That's where he's. I think he's a really nice high floor player in PPR leagues. In a standard league, though, if he catches a touchdown every other game, like that's pretty cool. So that's where he starts to look really good. But dang it all, they took our Jalen Warren from us.
And our Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah, Charbonnet. Those are after those two players. I don't know if there's a running back that I absolutely like need on my team. I think Tank Bigsby's probably the next player. I think like if ETN goes down, man, like we're ranking Tank Bigsby as like a top 10 running back. Are we?
Like the next two running backs for me would probably be Tank Bigsby and then Ezekiel Elliott.
Zeke is born for standard league, especially this year. I think he's going to be the goal line back. I think he is a really nice standard league pick, and he's actually going to be on my.
And there just went Zeke.
Otherwise, like I don't hate a Kendre Miller stash this late. I think Latavius Murray could be annoying for Damian Harris owners. I don't hate Rashawn Johnson, but he's more of a PPR play. Tajay Spears is a fun rookie, man, because if Derrick Henry goes down, like Tajay is the dude. Like I feel really good about Tajay Spears being like the bell cow back if that goes that way. And then we got those goddamn Indianapolis backs, Evan Hull and Deion Jackson lurking. Not sure what to do, but it looks pretty bleak at running back. I think Tank Bigsby is like the last of the Mohicans here, probably the best prize. But Jason, man, he just gets all the guys that we want. I don't think so, Justin, though. Like in a standard league, I don't know. I think in a full PPR league, those guys, the ability for Deion Jackson or Evan Hull to get 8 to 10 points is probably there. These guys might be playing whack-a-mole for touchdowns, and Anthony Richardson's kind of the goal line back. I don't know. Personally, I don't know. I don't know who to take. What round for JT? Jonathan Taylor went 75th overall, 8.5. So, in a 12-team league, he would have been a 7th-round pick. In a 10-team league, he's an 8th-round pick. How do I show my full team? Teams. So here's what I got brewing so far. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Christian Watson. Running backs are Dameon Pierce, Tony Pollard, David Njoku, and David Montgomery. On the bench, we got Brees, Pickens, Gabe, Treylon Burks, and Jackson Smith in the Jigba.
Okay, what the look at who Chase has drafted.
Jalen Hyatt, man, he's one of those players that he's probably not going to be startable week 1, but he's a guy that's been making a ton of plays in the preseason, and the Giants could potentially just start playing him a lot as the season goes on because he's a really good slot receiver. He gets open deep. He's a big play threat. I think he's probably a waiver wire player for most drafts, but if Chase wants to keep him on his bench and see what happens, we're going to see him mix in as the wide receiver 4. Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. He's a guy that could take a 70-yard touchdown. So basically, we'll see if he can kind of start to get more snaps, and we'll watch his utilization and whatnot. But I like the pick. I probably would have taken him a little bit later. I don't know if anyone else is going to grab him here, but I Yeah, I think the Brees Hall pick was a lot of fun. Let's take a look at Harris's squad real quick. Harris drafting from the 7 hole. He's got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase stacked. Got Tyreek Hill to fell to him round 2. Aaron Jones, Alexander Madison at the running back position. He's got an elite tight end in Mark Andrews. His flex is Keenan Allen. Bench is Alvin Kamara, who he built, a good running back core with Jones and Madison. He doesn't need Kamara until week 4. He can maybe pull him in the flex or RB2 him. Addison, Evans, Gainwell, and Sky Moore. So he collected a really nice value in Evans, and he got some young, exciting players here to see what happens with them. But hey, we're moving into the 13th round now. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, I think the Saints are going to be pretty good this year. They have one of the easiest schedules. They have playmakers at all levels of the field. They got like 4 freaking tight ends. If Michael Thomas can just stay healthy, I think the Saints are going to be a tough out because we're expecting the Saints to win the NFC South, right, Harris?
Yes.
Like they're gonna be a tough out in the first round of the playoffs because they're gonna be hosting a game in New Orleans. So if that's Dallas at New Orleans, the 4-5 game, that's a tough game. That's a tough road game. What round did I took Brees Hall in the 6th, and AK-41 went in the 8th. So really nice value on Kamara there. And there goes Tank Bigsby. So the running backs are getting tanked at this point. We all have 3 picks left. We're going to make our final 3 picks here. You're going to see a lot of kickers and defenses go off the board. Everybody does get one or 2 final sleepers to fill out their bench here. So we'll see what kind of names we can dig up for you guys. To be honest, like in the league that I have kickers, I like it. There is a strategy to a kicker. To drafting a kicker, it takes a little bit of strategy. And honestly, like the defense strategy every week, I mean, how many times have y'all lost a game because you started the wrong defense or you picked up the wrong one on the waivers? Defenses are a huge swing in your fantasy matchup because you might be able to match someone with QBs, running backs, receivers, but if a team's got any team that's playing the Arizona Cardinals this weekend and you're playing against that opponent, like week 1, Washington Commanders, they get the Cardinals. Washington's probably the best defense that week, and it's like, dang, like they're going to put up like a double-digit stud game, right? It's going to suck. So kicker strategy, I prefer dome kickers. I prefer kickers on teams that don't score touchdowns. Like, sure, I think Harrison Butker's a good kicker, but the Chiefs tend to score more touchdowns. They also do get to spend more time like on that side of the field, so there's maybe more kicking opportunities. But yeah, Justin, Washington Commanders, one of the best defenses for week 1. So if you missed out on a good one and Washington's still out there, like they're going to be ranked like the number 1 defense, I believe. Harris, do you have any kickers you're eyeing up here? We're not going to get in a kicker battle, but
no, I just take the best kicker available. I don't eye kickers.
Yeah, at that point, I agree. I'm not trying to nitpick with kickers.
Yes, but I will take my defense before a kicker, though.
Correct. Kicker's always last pick. But if I had to pick one, obviously Justin Tucker is going to kick a lot of points. I do think there's value in Younghoe Koo and Riley Patterson and Daniel Carlson. These guys are all dome kickers. They're going to score points, and they all have relatively good schedules this year, so I don't hate it. There goes Justin Tucker, kicker.
I was hoping to get Justin Tucker, but I wasn't going to.
And yeah, Justin, the Ravens defense, if you can't get the Washington Commanders defense, I think the Ravens will be ranked number 2 for week 1 because they're going to get CJ Stroud in the Texans week 1, which is a good matchup for them. I still like Dameon Pierce in that matchup because I think he's going to get the ball a ton, but CJ Stroud will probably not have the best opening day to his career, I would say. There goes Dalton Schultz, Chubba Dub back on his grind. Take us through this pick, Harris.
Okay. So this pick is screaming for my team running back since I only have 4 and I'm really low at depth at running back. Wide receiver here is still good. We have still have people like Nico Collins and Marvin Mims, and there's Adam Thielen, but Adam Thielen doesn't fit my team, so I'm
Mhm.
not going to draft him. Quentin Johnson could be a fun last pick
Yep.
here, but I'm going to go with the running back. I'm going to go with the guy who is the running back 2 on the team, but I feel like um, there, this offense is going to be top 5 in probably rushing yards in the NFL. I'm going to take Tyler Algier here.
Good pick, man. That's a Tyler Algier was made for standard leagues. Like
Yes,
he that's a really good pick because Falcons are going to run the hell out of the ball, and Tyler Algier is probably going to like Tyler Algier is discount AJ Dillon. Like AJ Dillon's line will be like AJ Dillon's going to be 8 to 12 carries per game. That's what Tyler Algier can be. So you found a really good standard league sleeper there. I'm going to make everybody upset. I'm going to go get the defense you need in fantasy football this year. And that is the New Orleans Saints. I'm willing to take them a little bit higher than I need to.
I have
But
no shares of New Orleans right now.
yeah, the Saints defense has the easiest schedule on paper for the entire season. They get the NFC South, which they should dominate. They also get, let's go pull that up here, the Saints schedule, because if you guys are drafting this weekend and you guys are playing in a league where there's kickers and defenses, this is what I'm telling people to target. Tennessee, they get them at home. At Carolina, though, Thursday Night Football or Monday Night Football, cool. Green Bay, shouldn't be too high scoring. Tampa Bay, New England, Houston. Jacksonville will be a tough game, but that's a Thursday night fun game. Usually scoring is lower on Thursday Night Football, but then you get the Colts, the Bears, the Vikings, and then the stretch after the bye week is Atlanta. Detroit's a tough game, but it's at New Orleans, Carolina, New York, and then the final 4 in the fantasy playoffs is LA Rams, and then the championship, the creme de la creme, Tampa Bay. And we're up to pick. We got Young Hui Koo, Dawson Knox, New England Patriots, Baltimore Ravens off the board. I'm not going to grab a second defense. I could do that if I was sick in the head, but y'all going to give me Marvin Mims? Y'all going to give me Marvin Mims? I'll take him. He's the baby I want on the end of my bench. I'll babysit him for the season. Harris grabs the Washington Commanders, which was a great pick. I'm pretty stoked about Marvin Mims as my last bench piece. Yeah, man, this draft is done, Harris. Like we're gonna collect our kickers.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about everything. This looked pretty cool.
Yeah, this is a very different draft. I normally go much more running back.
Well, I will say, my brother and I, we play in a keeper league that's standard scoring, and we go 0 running back. Like we've won championships with Damian Williams. We've won championships with Darrell Williams. We've won champions with pretty much any scrub-a-dub running back that can fall into the end zone. We add these guys over the season, and I think one year we won with Jeff Wilson on the 49ers. Like these guys that kind of pop out in the middle of the season, and you can play waiver wires and kind of figure that out. So I don't hate being light on running back. You got 2 potential sleepers here. And when Alvin Kamara comes back, man, you're going to like your running back depth quite a bit. Let's see what Kyle says here. Would you trade Lamar, Hall, and Cooper for Eckler, DK, and Deshaun Watson? 10-team PPR. My RBs are weak. I'm curious what you guys all think in the chat room. Let me digest this for a little bit. So Lamar, Breece Hall, and Amari Cooper. And we're getting Eckler, DK, and Deshaun Watson. So you're getting a first-round pick in Austin Eckler. You're getting roughly a 3rd-round pick in DK Metcalf, and then Watson's like around QB 10. Lamar Jackson's a top 5 quarterback. Breece Hall will be a potentially top 10 running back when he, maybe in October, maybe November. And then Amari Cooper is a fine wide receiver too. So for me, I'd rather have Eckler over Breece Hall. I'd rather have DK over Amari Cooper. I think most of you guys would agree that you'd rather have Lamar over Deshaun Watson. Harris, do you have any preferences on this idea? This trade idea?
There just went. I would, if you could, I would try to maybe keep Amari Cooper, and if your team will allow it, to keep Amari Cooper and try to get the Amari Cooper Deshaun Watson stack. But this isn't too bad of a trade. The only thing I'm really worried about is losing Lamar.
I'm kind of on Jesse's side. I think it's a smash accept. You're getting a top 3 running back. DK Metcalf in a standard league is pretty sick. And then Watson's going to be fine as a QB. Like he's like you would agree. Like Watson's probably around QB 10, QB 12 most weeks, right, Harris?
Yeah, I don't. I'm kind of out on him. So
yeah. So but either way, though, he's going to be around QB 10 to 15. I think you would agree.
Yeah.
But the difference between Lamar to Watson might be 4 or 5 points. I think you're gaining that with Eckler and DK Metcalf compared to Brees and Amari Cooper. So I think I'm hitting it. Kyle, Jesse in the chat agrees with us as well. We also got some thoughts here. But we're getting to our final round here. We did see Alan Lazard, Denver defense, Nico Collins go, Brandon Cooks go. Brandon Cooks almost undrafted here. Let me digest this comment here and see what we got cooking. 414 half PPR.
This is a good. I like this draft. The only questionable pick is Renfro.
So Geno, receivers are Chase and Devonta. Running backs are Najee and Akers. He's got Turd Ferguson. He's got DJ Moore. Got Dotson, Elijah, Renfro, Brees, Deion, Hunt, and I believe that's Dulcich. Was thinking of trading for any tight end. Any thoughts or ideas? Renfro's the guy that I think probably doesn't belong here. Like honestly, like if you just like you're not going to start Renfro anytime soon because you got Chase, Devonta, DJ Moore, Dotson, and Elijah Moore. Like it's going to be tough for Renfro to make your lineup. Honestly, if this is half PPR, itty bitty South City 650, your best bet's probably to cut Hunter Renfro and go add another tight end. If you can get Luke Musgrave, Sam Laporta, Jawan Johnson, you'd have to let us know who's out there for tight ends that might make sense. I think I'm cutting Hunter Renfro and picking up another tight end, but you don't need to. Like I love Jake Ferguson. He's my favorite tight end sleeper of the entire draft. So I think you're actually good at tight end, man. But if you wanted one, that's probably what I would do. And now we're just in the kicker round. We're just in the final kicker round here. Harris, if you had to pick the kicker that you could get here, which one you eyeing up? You get to pick before me, so it doesn't matter what we tell the people.
Right now, actually,
well, Jason, bless you.
I'm taking one of the top 5 kickers on the list.
I'm actually surprised how low the Eagles kicker is, how low the Seahawks kicker is. I think those are both kickers. They're both outdoor kickers. Obviously, Tyler Bass and Harrison Butker on 2 of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah. Nick Folk probably won't go him. He's on a low-scoring offense.
No problem, itty bitty. I'm already eyeing up my kicker. None of those names on the list. Let me see if I can find any more tight ends for you, itty bitty. Is Gerald Everett out there? Is Tyler Higbee out there? Honestly, I don't hate Hunter Henry. I don't.
Irv Smith could be good.
Irv Smith, Tyler Conklin's a favorite here. I wouldn't mind Tyler Conklin. If Conklin's there, I think Conklin's a nice snag. I think he's going to be productive with Rodgers. Just to name a few. But yeah, I think you're so deep at receiver that Hunter Renfro is probably not going to enter your starting lineup unless the only way Hunter Renfro starts is if something goes wrong. So by then, I don't know if Hunter Renfro is going to save you. Harrison Butker goes, Tyler Bass, and Dan the Man Carlson. Daniel Carlson's been my kicker for the last handful of championships that I've won in the league that I have kickers. So I love Dan the Man Carlson.
So both my kickers are now gone.
Yeah.
They were Tyler Bass and Harrison Butker.
Those elite offense kickers are hard to cut by these days, but
what would you say about the Los Angeles Chargers kicker?
Dicker the kicker, I think he's fun. The thing that gets him into trouble though is they tend to go for 2. They tend to go for 4th downs. That's my only thing. They're going to score a ton of points. But that's my only hesitation with Cameron Dicker. I do think he's pretty good though. So I don't hate it. But the Chargers just tend to they just tend to go for it a little bit more than other teams do.
Okay, so I'm on the clock. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Brandon McManus.
Yeah, that's a good pick. The kicker for the Jags. I do like. I mean, I don't know anything about Riley Patterson. I think he kicked for the Jags last year. I thought he did pretty decent. The Lions like basically live in a dome the entire season, so I'm just gonna take the Lions kicker and we'll figure it out. Thoughts on McBride or Ertz, he says. Go ahead.
There goes Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, that was a great pick at the end there. Itty Bitty says McBride or Ertz. I'm playing the long game there. I think McBride's the better play. I just don't think Ertz has the juice. He's coming off a big injury with the knee. But honestly, man, like Jake Ferguson Dulcich is a pretty good late tight end committee. I like that group quite a bit. I don't know if you need a third tight end, but if you wanted to, I'm okay with it. And yeah, this was fun. Let's just kind of review everyone's team real quick, and then we'll get out of here for the evening. Here's Chase's squad. He drafted from the 4 hole. He just collected a ton of value throughout the draft. Josh Allen, QB1. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, his top 2 receivers. Bijan and Kenneth Walker at running back. Chigozium Okonkwo, his tight end 1. And his flex is Devonta Smith. He's going to have flex competition from Isaiah Pacheco, Deshaun Watson, Brian Robinson, Marquise Brown, Romeo Dobbs, and Jalen Hyatt was his final exciting upside pick. And then Jason Myers, Denver defense here. Favorite pick on this team, Harris?
Favorite pick was probably favorite pick was Josh Allen.
That's what I was going. The Josh Allen value was pretty sick here, and especially in a 6-point touchdown league, that was pretty good there. Jason's squad drafting from the 5 hole. Justin Herbert, Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, Austin Eckler, and Travis Etienne. His tight end is Darren Waller, and his flex is Mike Williams. He's going to have flex contributions from Khalil Herbert, Jamal Williams, Michael Thomas, Ezekiel Elliott, Alan Lazard, and Jacoby Myers. Justin Tucker, San Francisco defense here. I like this squad, Harris. Which one sticks out as the favorite pick here for you?
For me, I'm gonna have to go back to one of my favorite players is Justin Herbert on this team.
Yeah, I think the value that he got on Herbert was probably around 5, and he's able to stack it with Eckler and Mike Williams. I think maybe not the player. I think the Chargers stack is probably my favorite thing about this team. So nice job there, Jason. Harris, break it down for us. What did you end up with?
So I ended up with let me go look at my team online as well. I ended up with Joe Burrow, which was
round 5.
Around 5, which is
good.
A little bit after ADP. I got Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill falling to me. I got Jones, Madison, Andrews, falling Keenan, Alvin Kamara, Jordan Addison, falling Mike Evans, Gainwell, Sky Moore, Tyler Algier, and then I finished with Brandon McManus in the Washington defense.
Yeah, man, I think this is a really honestly, like we've done so many drafts all summer, but you're dialed in, man. This looks really well done. I think you got picks for now, you got picks for later, you got some snacks down the road. Looks really well balanced, man. I think you did really well here, and you did one of those drafts where you got no weaknesses, man. You locked in Mark Andrews, that's an elite decision to grab an elite tight end. Yeah. And you ended up landing some really nice answers here. So I think you nailed it.
Yeah.
My draft here, I did start with running back Tony Pollard. Round 2, I came back with A.J. Brown. Round 3, I stacked him with Jalen Hurts. Round 4 came around, and I kept going running back with Dameon Pierce. I took David Montgomery round 5, which was pretty crazy at the time. I believe I grabbed Breece Hall as my RB4, and I only have 4 running backs on this team, but they are Tony Pollard, Dameon Pierce, David Montgomery, and Breece Hall. If something goes wrong, I'll figure it out on the waiver wire. My receivers, I needed a wide receiver 2, so I'm going to have open tryouts for wide receiver 2 with Christian Watson, George Pickens, Gabe Davis, Treylon Burks, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Marvin Mims. One of them is going to work out. I feel pretty confident about that. And then I was the last team to take a starting tight end. I grabbed David Njoku, Riley Patterson, and Saints D. I feel pretty excited about this build. And standard league is such a different animal. We'll see how it works out. But you guys know me. I never go RB heavy, but I did something different. So a lot of fun, man. This was a good draft, Harris. I didn't see the last pick come through. I'm assuming your dad made the pick.
Yeah, it was Jake Elliott.
But any final thoughts on tonight's draft before we get out of here?
I had fun tonight.
Yeah, man. That's the most important thing in drafting.
But besides Chubba Hubba not being at Earth, it was fun.
Yeah. Well, it was probably fun for him. So we'll see how Chubba Dubba Dub does this season. We'll be keeping tabs on him. And we're going to answer this final question before we get out of here tonight. He wants us to look at this team. We got Geno, Cup, Amon-Ra, Dobbins, Pierce, Hawk, and Waddle. That sounds like a good core. You waited for Geno and Hawkinson, so I think this turned out pretty good. I like the team. I'm curious what the bench would look like, but hey, we're on the back end of a doubleheader here. I'm going to get out of here for tonight, guys. This is my last video before Labor Day weekend, so hopefully we're able to teach you guys some things and get you guys the players you need to know. If you guys can't, you guys can always reach out. I would recommend joining the Discord. It's in the link in the description. You guys can find it there. Join it. That's where we're going to be answering start-sit questions all season long, or otherwise just follow on Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff. For Harris, thank you guys for joining. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and happy drafting this weekend, guys. We'll see you later. Peace.